Hi, I'm Dave Scott. I wanted to talk about this vintage shot. I'm not sure where everyone pulls these out of the archives. So it was 1983 in Nice, France, and that particular race, for those of you that have followed the history of the sport, Mark Allen really dominated that event. In 1983, I actually was in the lead at that moment that shot was taken. I kind of recognized the backdrop, and Mark was close behind. Yves Cordier, a French athlete, was also in the mix. And if you look at that shot way back when, I was riding a road bike because tri-bikes, they weren't in existence. And I think when I would advise athletes today, if they're doing a hilly course, would you ride a tri-bike or would you ride a road bike? And I would really say on a course like that, that had a lot of real technical turns, tight hairpin turns, near 5,000 feet of climbing and 120K of cycling, I would recommend a road bike. They are much more responsive. On the climbs, you can get your hips back a little bit more, which can activate your glutes. You're coming in and out of the saddle a little bit more. And of course, cornering on the downhills, they glide around the curves a lot nicer. When you're a little more forward on a tri-bike, that front end is loaded a little bit more and they're just a little bit unstable. So going back, let me think, how many years is that? Almost 35 years. I would still recommend a road bike on a hilly tri-course in this day and age. And I think the most important thing is that as you're becoming fit, I've mentioned this many, many times in a lot of videos, that it's really paramount that you keep your back and your gluteals real strong. And one of the nice things about a road bike, because your seat angle is back a little bit further, it allows you to fire those glutes, which is your big power train for the bike and also the run. And for those of you that have trouble doing this, as you're going through the year, I don't mind having athletes gravitate back to a road bike, to a tri-bike, so they can get that activation of their glutes and make sure that they're firing when they're in the down position, when they're in the drops, and also when they're out of the saddle. Because when you get to that tri-bike, you're going to be able to say, all right, my glutes are working, I'm not overloading my quads, and here I go. So anyway, an old shot. I'm an old guy, so it's kind of fun to look at those shots, and you can tell that I didn't have a helmet then because they weren't required. And also, if you notice that the toe clips were the style back then, for those of you that are quite younger, that was a leather strap. You put your foot in, it had a little tiny groove on the bottom of your cycling shoe, and you cinched that down at about 4,000 pounds, and off you went. And I remember many, many races, my feet were just bleeding almost because you had so much tension on there, but you didn't want the shoe to fall out. Anyway, a lot of nostalgia. Hope you enjoy the shot.